Hi, I'm Joe Ingram, your host and guest speaker for this War Games group, and pieces of this will find their way to the Sales Genius podcast. So with over 30 years in sales and 23 years specifically in the automotive industry, I've helped countless dealerships achieve extraordinary results. Now, as a former general sales manager, I've taken dealerships from average to exceptional, consistently selling over 1,000 vehicles a month, while the industry average barely reaches 90 vehicles a month. Now, as a consultant, I've also helped many of my clients achieve the coveted #1 in the nation spot for their respective brands. So my processes and trainings that we're going to go over, one of them today, right, have been adapted beyond dealership realm. Okay, we provide sales and lead conversion success for other industries too, like real estate, mortgage, software sales, video gaming, and more. So while this is automotive specific, understand the concepts and the strategies that are being presented today can be used across any industry where sales is the priority. So I believe in making the complex ideas and strategies easily understandable through the edutainment, as many of you know, right? My edutainment approach means I'm going to blend in some humor and real life scenarios to engage you and ensure better comprehension and minimizing the pushback, even if you are a seasoned professional. So today I'm here to share the fundamental steps to successfully conducting an automotive sale, from greeting the client to having a repeat client, but again, use it in any industry. So let's get the show started. Welcome to War Games, hosted by the sales genius Joe Ingram. If you're looking to win the sales battle, then you have joined the right team. In the War Games group, we devise strategies for sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. We enlist the assistance from the most successful producers across all industries. We then share their knowledge and techniques with you. Our single goal is to get you ready for your next sales opportunity. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that have crossed before you. Now, prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for the War Games to begin. We play a game. And I'm back. Okay, everybody, here's what I want to talk about today, as I alluded in the prelude. Okay, we need to talk to somebody from greeting them when they arrive on the lot, okay, to actually getting them through the steps of a sale, which include delivering the vehicle and moving to the I am now your automotive contact for life. So I have a lot of clients that have adopted all of these steps, some that pick and choose what they want. That's great. Okay, I'm here to provide you what I know works because I've implemented it myself. Now, I am consistently in with my clients, which means I am answering internet leads, answering phone calls, selling cars. I'm in the store, which makes my processes a little different than those that have not been in the industry for a while or are from the outside looking in and claiming that because in 2008 and 2009 they did something right in the automotive space that they know how to do it now. Now, this is going to be universal because this is going to be for the walk-in person, the person that has come into the dealership. We also get people through phone pops, and we also get them through internet leads in our e-commerce departments. Those will be additional trainings later. But I want to jump into this and see how efficiently I can get us through this, and also to make sure you comprehend what we're doing. Now, I have a document, and if you want the document, feel free to email me. If you want to email me at, let's see, just send it to talent@ingraminteractive.com and just put steps in the subject line, and I'll email you back this document, because sometimes it's a little small on the screen, but I'm going to go over it all. So don't be intimidated and don't think you won't be able to see it. But let me throw this document up. This is things I train on face-to-face with people or via the web. So here we go. So in looking at this one here, I've got steps to the sale. Let me drop myself down so it gets a little bit bigger for you. Okay. So when we look at this, let's just jump over. Put it all up there myself. So looking at your steps to the sale, let me shrink it down just a little bit so we can see the top. This worked so much smoother before when I was doing it. Okay, steps to the sale. I believe your steps to the sale, again, I'm talking, I'll come right back over to this. Okay, there's 4 steps to any sale. Okay, there's like, listen, believe, and buy. Now, down below in this little area here, you're going to see how we break down those things into actionable steps. But in the get them to like you, you're going to have your first impression, your greeting, you're going to have rapport building, and you're going to have investigating. Okay, now when I come over and go listen to me, that's when I'm going to do my presentation of the vehicle and the demonstration of the vehicle. That's how they start to listen and understand who I am. So they're talking in the beginning based on me engaging them. Then we're going to go into presenting to make sure we are on the right vehicle and finding it, and then getting them to believe you. That's where we come back in and we do our negotiation. That's when we actually finish the deal as far as getting them to agree to paperwork. Okay. Part of believing you is then going on what I call the facility walk around, where we're introducing them to people depending on what time it is. Okay. And I'm going to go through all of it. And then we have delivery, and that's delivery of the vehicle and setting yourself up for a great survey and setting yourself up to communicate via text so that they understand exactly what it is you need from them now that you've given them what they needed, which was a vehicle. Okay, so let's start over here in the like section. Let's start talking about our first impression. Okay, we've all heard this how many times? You've only got one chance to make a good first impression. So I want you thinking, okay, be clean, be pressed, okay, be well groomed. I was at a dealership the other day. I walked in, somebody, the salesperson looked very disheveled. We said to them, we pulled them aside, said, listen, you know, the ball cap, the hair winging out in the back, okay, the fact that it looks like you haven't showered is not going to set the dealership or you in the right light for the client to feel comfortable enough to give you their money. So I want you to go back home today. I want you to go find yourself a shirt that's a collared shirt, a button-down shirt. If your facility itself uses like the polos, I have company polos for my team and myself. But when you go into the store, I want you wearing like a collared shirt, some slacks, or at least some nice jeans, depending on where you are, the temperature, and what they allow you to. For example, over at one of the biggest Toyota store in the world, certain times of the year, they allow them to wear Hawaiian shirts and board shorts. Okay. Why? Because it's a challenge month from the factory and it's about 110, 112 outside. So they allow the staff to dress that way with leis, you know, the big straw hats, things like that. But everybody's got a name badge so you know who works here and who doesn't. Okay. But first impression, I need you to look right. You need to look like you're the best version of yourself. Don't smell of cigarettes. Don't smell of foods. Lay off the onions. Okay. Coffee breath, please. Mints, gum. Don't be chewing gum where you're smacking your gum when you're talking to somebody. It should be gone already by the time you go and meet this customer to greet them, which takes me to step 2. Okay. Let's greet the customer in the dealership specific on the lot. Don't walk up to them and say, hi, can I help you? I don't even do that over the phone in my training. Okay. You don't want to walk out there and say, hi, how can I help you? Because their answer is always going to be, I'm just looking. It's always that. Why is it? Stop and think. If you go to a mall, a store, someplace that you're going to go shopping, when you walk in, you don't want somebody hovering over you, even if you don't know where anything is. So when you walk in, they go, hi, how can I help you? And you go, I'm just looking. Okay. As
As men, we probably will eventually break down and say, hey, I've been trying for the last 15 minutes and I can't find wherever the section is with the stuff I came into, beat over the head and drag to the cash register and buy. Okay. I want you to stop and realize, oh, they're going to answer you just looking. Now, for the newer sales guys that are here, what that means is that's a get out of negotiation free card that you just gave them. Because later, if your manager has to come in and say, okay, well, did you talk with Joe outside? Did you say this? Okay. And you're ready to do business now? And they go, no, I told him when I got here, we were just looking. So I don't want you to be thinking that way. I don't want you to set the deal up for failure. It's just going to hurt you, hurt your numbers, hurt the store. I want all of us to win. Okay. That's the customer, you, and the store. So let's put this in and put it right. So now I'm going to walk out to that customer. Okay. It's going to be a handshake unless they're stepping back from me. I'm going to be making eye contact. Okay. There's two different options. One is mine. One is my buddy Frank's. Okay. My option is this. I walk up and look at them and I say to them, hi, my name is Joe. Thanks for coming to Ingram Motors. Okay. What vehicle did you see online that brought you in to see in person today? Okay. Most people, you'll see them when they walk up. They're like, oh my gosh, it's a salesperson. It's a salesperson, right? You'll see their shoulders drop because why? You understand that 93+% of the people have already found the vehicle online. They've probably already engaged with the store in some way, but they have actually saw that you had it and came in. So you're looking at what? 6% of the people, 6.5% are going to be standing there going, hi, I'm just hoping you have something. And with today's day, right, a lot of people are just showing up to say, I don't know if you have anything because your website doesn't show any cars. But I want you to understand they came in because they're looking for what? We don't go visit dealerships, right, during the week because we're bored. Even if we're in the industry, we don't want to go there and go to a different dealership as well. I know some managers go shop our competitors that are there. You feel guilty already. Most people do. I wouldn't recommend doing that. So looking at that, what do I want you to do? The second option that Frank says, it's Frank J. Lopes. He says, walk up and say, hi, are you here for service? And then that way the prospect has to tell you what? No, I'm here to look at a car. I'm here to negotiate on a car. I'm here to buy a car. I'm here to see this car. They grab their phone. They're like, I'm here to see this car. So if that's the case, they've already taken themselves out of that, your automatic default that comes from, how can I help you? And they say, I'm just looking. I have not set myself back in any way. Okay. Building rapport. Please understand this is going to be basic information because human beings haven't changed a lot. Asking open-ended questions. What's an open-ended question? It's a question that allows them to talk. Who's the favorite subject of every person you meet? Who is your favorite subject? You. Okay. If I sat with you and I said, great, tell me everything. What's your favorite sport? And you said, oh, I love, football. Then I'd say, great. Tell me everything you know about football. You could probably talk for about 2 hours. Even the most diehard fan can't talk for more than 3 hours on the subject itself because you're going to bring every piece of information forward that you have trapped in your brain. You're going to talk about it. So I want you to understand the only thing you can talk about longer than your 2 hours, 3 hours is you, because you're the center of your attention. Your mind has built all stories, all memories. Everything is about you from your perspective. So I could say, who's your second grade teacher? Third grade, fourth grade, right? Don't do this. Please understand. I'm trying to teach the concept here. I don't want you walking out going, hi, you here for service? No, you here for sales? Great. Who's your second grade teacher? That's not what I'm looking for. I want you to build rapport, which is asking them questions about them. I try to make sure I'm not asking, invasive questions, right? I don't start and go, hey, so where do you guys, go on vacation? You guys have any animals? You got kids? You got this? I don't. the conversation should come more naturally to you. Okay. And you can start by saying, hey, what are you looking for in this next vehicle that's a must have? And then shut up and let them talk. Even if they get to the point where they're having a problem coming up with either, panoramic roof, moon roof, or sunroof, okay, let them get through it. Let them share with you so that they can talk about themselves. Okay. What is your typical drive to work like? Are you stuck in traffic a lot? Is it wide open? How long does it take you? Right? Do you typically work 4 days a week, 5 days a week? Find out the information by asking them questions. Is this going to be an additional car for you? Or is this going to be, right? Or are you going to be replacing something? And then just be quiet and let them answer. So as soon as I start doing this, asking how many miles do you drive, right? Do you always service your vehicles over here? Do you take your cars to service? Do you take it to a private mechanic? Do you take them? And you start asking them questions. Or what do you do for your typical maintenance on your car? And sit back and let them see if they do it themselves or they do anything else. But I want you to start asking them questions. What's the one thing you have in common with these people? Okay, it's the car. Too many salespeople fall into the rut of saying, I had a great conversation with that client. I don't know why they left. Well, that's because your great conversation is defined by you did most of the talking. Because your favorite subject is you, and you found somebody who doesn't know you that allowed you to ramble on about yourself for a while. What you didn't realize is they were disengaging from you. You weren't paying attention to the facial cues. You weren't paying attention to any of the signals that they did not care about what it is you're telling. I have somebody, there's several salespeople. There's one in particular that because they bought the same product that a customer can buy from their dealership, they tend to direct people to that. When I ran the Toyota store at one of the Toyota stores, the Toyota store I ran, I had guys that had bought Camrys. They bought Camrys from the store, which was great. They were driving the product. They believe in the product. That's fantastic. But all of a sudden, every customer that came in, all of a sudden was getting shown a Camry. And I started doing actual tests where I said, I'm going to be the customer. I'm going to go outside. You're going to up me. And we're going to go through this 10 steps to find out exactly what it is you're doing and if you're doing it right. But I'm going to tell you, most people, it's 69% of the population want to avoid conflict with you. Okay. They're more concerned that you get along than it is about saying, stop, this is what I need. This is what I want to do. So they're going to roll with whatever it is you're directing them on. And since you're not doing a good job of actually asking them the questions to find out what's going on, then your investigation is going to get weaker and weaker, and you're going to impose your views on them. Okay. So as we're in investigation right now, ask either or questions. Okay. I started to at the end there because it's a natural approach, saying, do you typically get your car serviced private party yourself or at the dealership? Why do I care if they get the services at the dealership? I care about it because when I'm negotiating, I'm thinking I have a customer that's going to bring me warranty work and maintenance into my service department. But Joe, I don't care because I'm in sales. You will care if the dealership ends up in a financial hardship, because what do? They reduce headcount, and they typically do it across all departments. So I want every department to be successful so that the store is successful, which means that goes back to win-win. I get to stay working here. I get to get their advertising dollars and their prospects that they're generating for me. I have to do a great job of converting them. We're talking about physical face-to-face today. So in that, I'm going to ask them, what's important for you right now? Gas mileage, or is it safety? Anybody that has children, I automatically assume they have a concern for 5-star crash test ratings. They're going to do safety. So I will talk about that later when I present, but I want to find out what's important to them. For me personally, you can say it's a 5-star crash test rating. And I say, I don't care. I'll be going so fast that even if it was a 10-star, it's going to be ugly. So understand who it is you're talking to. So do you typically go for better gas mileage? Or are you looking more for performance? And I want you to start asking them the questions. Okay, is this going to be a work only vehicle, or is it going to be something shared for work and fun? Let them see. It's 2 options. It's 2 or 3 options. Don't go past 3. That's going to get really knocked out. Okay, so the reason I want you guys to understand this is that when I start offering in these 2 choices, okay, are you looking for something more basic, or are you looking for something more fully loaded? And you can start asking these questions. It's going to help you to do what? Land on a vehicle. Okay. So I'm asking them all of these either or questions. I'm coming down. I'm going to say, what works for you best? Okay. Are you looking for light, medium, or dark in color? Why do I say light, medium, or dark? Because they're going to say one color. And if I don't have that color, I'm out of a deal. Okay. It's not even 50%. It's more than 50% switch once they get to the dealership. Even in today's age, it's gonna, even if it was 50, okay, they're gonna switch to something else. Why? Because on your monitor, depending on the quality of your monitor and your internet speed and everything that's going on, the colors aren't going to match what the car looks like in person. So they can switch easily. They're going to find one that you have custom accessories on, like wheels, tires, a rear wing, okay? Things like that, that they go, wow, I like that better, and they're going to. But I want to know light, medium, or dark. If they say, I want white, I go, in your second color preferences, I always want to keep it open so I can go and find exactly what it is they're looking for. When I get to that point and saying, oh, I've determined now they're looking for X, Y, Z with this option, so I know what trim level it is. Please don't get into the habit of going, do you want, A level, B level, or C level? Because the first question they're going to ask you, and again, you're standing outside typically, is going to say, what's the difference? And now you got a 10-minute, dissertation of being a product brochure for these individuals. I like asking the basic questions and go, are you thinking cloth or leather? Okay. Are you thinking about nav or no nav? You thinking about the sunroof or no sunroof? If they say, I want leather, I want nav, I want the sunroof, I know I'm going top of the line. If they go cloth, no nav, no sunroof at all, I know I'm going to go more basic. Okay. And all of this is me investigating with them so that I can find the right vehicle. Okay. We always called it landing on a vehicle. You got to land them on the right vehicle. For me, the visualization that's always helped me is I say the person themselves, okay, is out there going through what I call they're parachuting down to the dealership. As they're parachuting down, you got to ask them questions so they can physically land on something. So that's what I want you thinking. I want you to say, come on now. Are you thinking light, medium, or dark? Okay, move them over this way. Okay. Oh, did you want the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder? Okay, go that way until you can almost get them to land directly on that vehicle. You should know your inventory, know where it is, and you can walk them to the vehicle. And it's like, wow, you're amazing. You just did that. So now you've got them to the vehicle itself. This is where we come in, right? And this is when they're listening, right? Like and listen. I've got the like because I asked them all the questions about them. Now I'm listening. I'm going to get them to listen to me because I'm going to present and then demonstrate. But in order to present, I have to know what's important for them. Every vehicle, regardless of trim level, has 100% of its features, advantages, and benefits. Okay. So their features, there's 100% of the features. If you want to get out there and treat everybody the same and talk about all 100% of the vehicle, you will shoot yourself in the foot because only 23% of the people want all the details. But those 23% got all the details before they even came into the dealership. So please understand, you need to focus on finding out in that investigation stage the 20% of the features that matter most to them. Okay. So when you can find that, if you told me, hey, are you looking for something more safe? Are you looking for something more sporty? And I go, I don't care about safety, which means I don't want you talking about crumple zones. I don't want you talking about, the titanium cross beams in the door, or the actual cage that is the cockpit in the vehicle, or any of that stuff. I want you talking about performance, 0 to 60 time, braking for those situations where I'm going too fast and have to slow down and hit the brakes themselves, handling, things along those lines, because that's what's going to keep me excited. Okay. And you've heard the term before, if you've been in the business longer than a month, it's hot buttons. What are the hot buttons for that client? Okay. I need you to understand that. Then we're going to talk about the feature itself, give an advantage to the feature, and then the benefit. Okay. So what is the feature, advantage, and benefit scenario, the FAB? So if you look at it and say anti-lock brakes, okay, it comes with anti-lock brakes. That is the feature. What's the advantage? Is that it will actually stop your vehicle without skidding in an instance of a panic stop where you just hit the brake to the floor. Okay, the computer will pulsate the brakes and do that for you. The benefit to you is that you avoid an accident and your family stays safe. So there's a feature, advantage, and benefit, and figure this out for every one of the things you need to talk about so that they understand. Like, okay, people care about appearance of the vehicle. Some people don't. The person who does think about the appearance of the vehicle, okay, what's the feature? It's a very sporty look, okay? The advantage of that is that you stand out in a crowd, and the benefit to you is that people will be staring and looking at you and wondering what it is you do to afford a vehicle that looks that good. And now the person's like, wow, that makes so much sense. Yes, I like it. The person who's concerned about safety, none of that would have mattered to them. So you've got to be able to go through and do that with each one of those. So now we've got through. So what did we do so far? We made our great first impression. We greeted them by saying, what vehicle did you see online that you wanted to see in person? Or are you here for service? Okay, I started asking them questions about them in pertaining to the vehicle they're looking for and how they plan on using it, but I left them open-ended. As soon as I figured out what they're kind of doing, I'm going to say, great, now either or, this or this, this or this or this, or this or that, this or that, this or that. I'm going to get all the way down to do that so I can get myself to the point of finding the right vehicle for them. Now I'm going to go ahead and present it to them and show them everything it has to do there. Okay, please remember, when it comes to sales, you are trying to control the pictures in their head. Every time we say a set of words, okay, an image is created in someone's head. And I want you to make sure you aren't putting bad pictures in their head. Okay, I had somebody, when it came to go talk about the demonstration of the vehicle, they went and started talking about all of the vehicles. They're presenting it, but they get around to the trunk, they pop it up, they pop the trunk, they look down in the trunk, they go, you see that? You can fit like 4 dead bodies in there. And then they laugh. The problem is that all of you had to just now picture 4 dead bodies in a trunk. Okay. Is that a great picture for you? No, it's not a great story for me to tell you. Yeah, it is. It's a great story because you need to understand that the words you say develop pictures in their head. When I pop the trunk with somebody on my walk around, I pop the trunk and go, see this? Your whole Costco run will fit in there. All of you just saw a Costco run. If I said all the groceries you're going to get from the grocery store are going to fit right here, then you see the groceries you typically buy, and that's all mental ownership that goes in, but the picture is a positive one. Okay, I've got tons of stories about people putting bad pictures in people's heads. It's just a horrible way to do business because you got to try to keep overcoming it. And you don't realize that what you thought was funny, you just put bad pictures in their head and they can't get past that. Okay, now we go to demonstrate. What is demonstrate? With any product you're selling, the demonstration of the product or how you use it is what we're trying to talk about in this next spot. If you did your presentation right, like when I do walkarounds, I drop them into the driver's seat first. I talk about anything from the steering wheel over to the driver's door. Do not talk about the center console. You got to reach over them, and you don't want to walk around the car yet and get in the passenger seat. So you're going to talk to them about everything from the center console to their driver door. You want them to set the actual seat where it is, put the steering wheel where they would want it, talk about the cluster, talk about all the things that are there. You're presenting all of the reasons that they would want to get this car or consider it. Okay, now I move them to the back seat. I put them in the back seat, show them how much room a passenger would have and whether or not we can make a Vegas trip this weekend or not to break in the new car. Go to the trunk, put them in the trunk, pop the trunk, put the groceries in the trunk in their mind. Don't put them in the trunk. Okay, that's old school car business, which was just cruel and wrong. Okay, so you don't tell them to get in the trunk and see how much room it is and see if the little handle glows. That, please don't. So then I move them around to the passenger seat and I say, let's go over the center console because there's a lot of stuff there. Then I put them in the passenger seat. I jump into the driver's seat. I'm starting the car, getting the air moving. I'm going to talk to them. What's your favorite radio station? And I'll set it on number 1 for them. Did you see what I just did right there? I just set the radio station for you. Let's set it to number 2 as well. Can you just press number 2, hold it, and let it populate? Great. Now it's in there. Now we talk about everything in the center console. We're going to talk about shifter if it's there. We're going to talk about power windows, door locks if it's there. If not, we're going to talk about emergency brake. Talk about all of the things that are in the center console. There's so many things going on with Apple CarPlay or Android Play or all of these different features that are in that center console that a lot of people never understand is something of value. A lot of times now we've got to put all the customer's information into it so that the car can communicate with the factory, and it's all part of our survey process at the end, and whether or not we get the CSI funds from the factory, stuff like that. You need to get in there, start going through this stuff, show them how to navigate the center cluster. Okay. Now at that point, what can I do as far as demonstrating? I tell them now you're going to be really impressed with how quiet this rides. I go ahead and kick your door closed, air's on. I close my door, I drive forward. Most of us today grab our phone, open our CRM, scan the driver's license, put their phone number in, hand them back their driver's license, and say, great. So now I've just notified management through my CRM tool that we're going to go for a drive. Okay. Now, if you've done everything right, they're ready to drive. How is the seat set up for them? How's the steering wheel set up for them? What is on the radio right now? Their radio station, the one they listen to. So I don't have to say a lot anymore. Okay. What I tell them is I say, look, I'm going to let you drive in peace while we go forward, but I will tell you where we're going to turn. We're going to go ahead and just make right turns until we get back to the dealership, but I want to let you drive a little bit and drive in peace. So I'm not going to be talking about all these things, but I will point out right now, you're going to enjoy how quiet it is. You're going to enjoy the ride. We can change things if we want to, but that's all of this is going to happen in the next few minutes while we go drive around the block. We're just going to take it for a spin, make sure it rides the way you want it to ride, because this will be your next vehicle. So now this customer's like, okay, great. They already know all the features, the advantages, and the overall benefit for them, right? They like you because you've been asking them questions, and everything is you trying to make sure this is the right buying decision for them. And I want you to be that consultant, the one that knows everything about the vehicle and knows what's going on. We don't talk numbers out on the lot. We don't talk about, the easiest thing is they go, what do you think the payment is on this one? I go, is this the one you want to drive? Because it's the one you want right now. And they're going to go, no, I don't want to. And go, okay, well, it's all math. It's really easy to figure out once we get inside. Okay, so let's make sure we have the right car for you, because the best deal on a car you hate driving is going to make you miserable. And they go, yeah, you're right. In most situations, they will. If not, you got to start tap dancing. Now I'm going to go back in. Here's what I want you guys to think about. When you guys pull up to the lot, okay, when they come back in, please don't go do old school, okay, 1970s, 1980s. Please pull it up in the sold lane right over here, okay? That was what, a trial close that somebody taught us way back in the day. It was even before my time, but I heard about it a whole bunch of times, which was pull it in the sold lane, pull it in the sold lane. Ha ha, I'm tricking them into buying a car. No, you're not. Okay. So I'm going to back up one step. If they won't go on the demonstration drive with you, okay, if they won't go on that, you have not got the listen yet. You are not in rapport with them. I don't trust you enough to get in the car with you. There's something wrong with you. I don't know. Is it your breath? Do you smell? Okay. Are you just rude? Did you use too many comments that were not what they thought a professional person would use? So you got to understand, it's got to be done right every time. Okay. Everything in the industry is switching to online. And that's why a lot of my training nowadays isn't about the face-to-face selling, because we're doing so much of it online, and a lot of my clients are delivering the vehicles to the client, keeping up with the other wannabe dealership companies that are doing used cars and delivering them and not caring about the cost because they have venture capital money. Okay. But I want to sit down with that person. When you get them to pull up, just pull up and go park anywhere up here in the front. Let them park where they feel comfortable parking, not back in with the inventory, up somewhere close to customer parking up in the front. So when they pull in up at the front, what I want you to talk to them about is when you pull up, you get out of the car. Okay. I look over at the driver, state their name, and say, can you do me a favor real quick? Pull up that driver's side windshield wiper so it's standing up. And most cars will let you do this. Okay. Pull that up. What that does is it tells my lot staff, okay, that the vehicle belongs to someone and not to go put it back, because our staff is trained to come grab all the cars out of customer parking because we wanted to have a spot for you to park and go put it back where it came from. So can you just pull that up so they know it belongs to someone and not do it? That is the trial close. That is, if they reach up and grab that, who just took ownership of that vehicle? You did everything right up to this point. If they look at you and go, no, because I'm okay if they put it back, this isn't going to be the one for me. Great. Does that mean you failed? No, the trial close did its job. What does a close do? A close either moves you forward or highlights a reason you can't go forward. So stop thinking, oh my goodness, I failed. No, you didn't. Now you have to go back and look and say, what did I miss on my way through that they don't think this is it? Maybe they just didn't like the ride. Great. Let's go find something that has a softer ride. Let's go find something that has a firmer ride, whatever it is that they're going to want to do. Okay. So then I'm going to walk them back inside. I'm going to come back inside and say, hey, great. Once we get inside, you're thinking like coffee or water, something to drink while we just get everything wrapped up. And they go, oh yeah, I'll take a water and do that, and go, fantastic. Now you talked earlier about you were going to be trading the car in. So before we go in, can we go over and get the registration out of your trade-in? And then they go, absolutely. So they walk over with you to go get that. Okay. When they do that, I pull out my phone and I open up my appraisal tool that my manager is going to need to understand. And I'm going to go in, start taking pictures. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to note damage. When I note damage, I point at that and take a picture from far enough away. They know what it is. But if it's a dent or ding, I don't say anything. I just walk around with the customer and go, let's walk around real quick so we can note everything, because I'm going to have to sell this again later once you get to drive that car home. And they walk around with you and we point it all out. If you go, oh my goodness, what happened here? Then right now we're out of rapport because you're just saying my car is junk. I don't want you to say it's great. And I don't want you to say it's junk. I want you to walk around and be objective, take pictures, point out stuff. They'll tell you little Johnny's bike is what caused that scratch in the garage. I swear those kids, and let them talk. Go around, get the appraisal, make sure you got the miles, you looked at the tread depth, you looked at the picture of the license plate, you got the picture of the registration. You're going to go through all this because why? You need this information, and don't make it something harder than anything else. I'll tell you, at the dealerships I ran or the dealerships I trained to do this, okay, I tell the managers, look at the pictures of the cars and see if you can see two shadows, because your salesperson shouldn't be out there by themselves doing it. Because then when you come in and go, needs a windshield, you got some scratches, you got this, you got that, they go, it's not that bad. They stick with that, I love this car. It's so amazing. They don't love the car. They've already come in to do what? To trade in the car, to get out of it. They've already decided this isn't the car for them. That's why if they can't purchase, they're so heartbroken going home in it. Okay. If you're in a committed relationship, you're not on an app for dating. So when they go in and say, I'm going to go and get a cash value for my car, or I'm going to come in and say to you, hey, I want to trade in a vehicle, they've already mentally checked out on this one. They're done. Okay. So all of this information helps you when you go in. While you're negotiating with your manager, back to your actual customer and going through, all I explain to them is I say more often than not, I go, look, the easiest part is all this is just math. It's just math. Okay. I'm in a state where we have to outline every single thing we're selling, everything we're going to do. So everything's going to be there. Okay. If you're one of the more advanced dealerships, you're then going to sit down with your customer. You pull up what you already put in the actual CRM tool, click credit application, and hand them the iPad, or turn your computer around to them and let them do that. Here's a hint. If the customer is engaged in the process and doing part of the process, none of the time that they're doing something counts against you. It's when they're sitting there with nothing to do and they're not engaging, that's when the customer says, I've been here for 30 minutes. Why is it taking so long? If you hand them an iPad, have them go fill out the credit application, if it takes them 20 minutes, that's on them. They're not going to go, I've been here for 20 minutes. You're like, it's you. You just did that. Okay. You don't tell them that. So their brain will tell them, you can't complain. It took you forever to do that. Okay. Now we're going to sit down, work out the numbers, and come to a deal. When they agree to the deal, that's fantastic. Okay. We're going to have one of our finance managers get all the agreements together for you. It's an agreement, not a contract. We're going to get all the paperwork set up for you so you can go in there. While we're getting all that ready, okay, here's what I want to do. I want to walk you around the facility so you know exactly where everything is within the dealership. So when you come in, it's not a strange location for you. Plus, you said earlier you wanted to get your vehicle. You typically service your vehicle at the dealerships. Let me introduce you to someone in my service department so you don't have to pull in and have that awkward, I don't know who to talk to moment. We've all been there, right? And they go, yes. And then we go walk them around. It's crucial. Take them over to the service department. I introduce them to an advisor. I get a card from the advisor. I explain to them this is going to be their new customer. Okay, and that this customer is getting it now, so they're going to need to be back here within 5,000 miles or 6 months. Okay, so I want to make sure you're looking for them within that time frame. And the advisor is not going to say anything bad. They're going to go, yes, absolutely, I'm your person. They're like, great, I just got another person that I can utilize, right? That I can get to come in and I get to earn revenue from this person. The service department gets to earn revenue. It's not a bad thing. We are providing a service for a fee. So get them in there. It allows them to build rapport. It allows them to feel better. It's probably on your survey, if you're a franchise location, that says, did you get introduced to this department? I take them into parts. If we have an accessory house, I take them over there to look there. Okay. I will introduce them to my customer relationship manager that handles sales. Why? Because they'll be calling to say, did I do my job? And so I'm going to say, hi, this is so-and-so. This is the customer relations manager here. She'll be following up with you. Plus, I will be following up with you afterwards to make sure you're completely satisfied. But I just wanted to make sure you had a face to the name. If you're doing this after hours, you need to have photos of the people you would like them to be introduced to. Okay. I put pictures of all my advisors up on the wall with a little card holder attached to their pictures. And I would have the salespeople walk up and say, I need to introduce you to the service department, but they are closed as it's 8:30 at night right now. So rather than have you come back tomorrow to introduce you to them, I'd like you to introduce them now. Which one do you like better? Which one do you think would be the best match for you? And then they go, oh, it would be Well, it'd be Jamie right here. She looks pleasant. And I go, great. Jamie says hi. Say hi to Jamie. Right? And they look at you and go, you have to say hi. I have to introduce you. And they go, hi, Jamie. And they laugh with you. They laugh with you, which means they remember later. And I go, Jamie wants you to have her card so you can call her anytime she's at work. And I give them the card. So when the survey comes later and says, were you introduced to service? They go, yeah, that fool made me say hello to a picture. Okay. You need to do this. You'll walk them around the dealership, make sure they understand where to go, explain where to park, explain where to pull in the service drive, where to find the advisors, where to find quick lube. Okay. All of these different things so they don't feel lost when they come in, because that's only going to hurt the service department on their survey too. Okay. So you're going to do what? Now they're going to go in, do the paperwork. You're going to run out, make sure the car's already in, getting cleaned up, getting gassed per your policy, whatever it is they do. You're going to go set up whatever you have as far as your manufacturer's required stuff. You're going to go set it up. If you know their home address because you got it from their license and their thing, I'd go program it in the nav while they're in there. Okay. I also put 5 business cards in the center console. Okay. In the cup holder. I do that for a reason. Okay. When the car comes back from the wash rack, I always have a clean white towel with me. Okay. And what do I do with that clean white towel? I tell the wash rack, hey, you guys need to wrap it. Or if they didn't, I will do it. Wrap it around the driver's side mirror, because that's where water always leaks. And that's going to blow on their car when they're driving, or you're going to have drip marks down the car, which don't look good in the final presentation. Okay. And so before they go into finance, I use one of these. Okay. So this is my Sales Genius card. I got my little QR code on it. It's also got the little tap, and then it pulls up the web page that has all my information. So I say, let's go ahead and make sure I'm in your phone. And I tap it on the back of their phone. Okay. I can get you these if you need them. Okay. Regardless of industry. And so what do? We go tap it on their phone. It pulls up. I go click on that. See where it says right here, save to phone? Hit save to phone. Yep. Go ahead. Open it. Boom. Now go ahead and save contact. That's fantastic. Can you pull that up and text me right now? Your name, and then boom, text over. I answer back. Great. I'm your person. While they're in finance, okay, I'm going to go and make sure the car gets ready, get it all prepped up for delivery. I usually have the car right outside in the delivery area. When they come outside, I have finance walk them to the door. When they walk into the door, they're going to see me out there with that little spongy white towel I have wiping down their vehicle. This will help with your delivery surveys. Okay. Why? Because if I'm wiping down the car, they know someone looked at it. They don't look as closely. So they go through and they're not going to come out and go, there is 1/16 of an inch little scratch on blah, blah, blah. Okay. They're not going to go see this. They're going to go through it. Again, we know we've all had customers come pick up their cars 3 days later, come back and go, this chip in the windshield was there when I took delivery. This scratch was here when it's blah, blah, blah. Okay. I typically grab my phone when they come out and I go, hey, before we jump inside, can you stand right here? I want to take a picture for social media. I'll take a picture, then I'll take a video walking around. And I look at them and I say, how was your experience with me? And they go, you were great. We did this, did blah, blah. I said, fantastic. Then I jump in the car, have them get in the driver's seat. I jump on the passenger seat or in the back if it's a couple that are up in the seats. Okay. And I tell them, hey, what you will notice, right, is that I put 5 business cards in your center console, real ones. Don't give them the metal ones. Okay. Right. 5 real business cards up in the center console. And I tell them, look, when you leave here, first thing you're going to do, share your vehicle, right, with friends and families. And then when you get to work, people at work are going to be like, oh my goodness, you got a new car. And they're going to all be jumping in and out of your car and thrilled for you as I am for you right now. And they go, yeah. And I go, so here's what I want you to do. They're all going to jump in. If they go, wow, this is so great. I'm happy for you. This is fantastic. I love your car, blah, blah, blah. Then accept the praise. You've worked hard. You enjoy it. Okay. If any one of them look at you and say, hey, did you get a good deal? That's the person I want you to reach into the center console, pull out a card and say, yeah, but you have to talk to Joe, and hand him my card. Can you do that for me? Just those people. And they go, oh yeah, absolutely. I'll do that for you. Why? They're not going to go, no, I hate you, because they wouldn't have bought the car from you. They had to like you. Remember, it's the first step. So at that point in time, I'm going to make sure they understand everything that they have to do, set up the last couple things on their phone to make sure it's paired, all the stuff is working. We know radio station number 1 is already set. Number 2 is also set by them, so they know how to do it. We can ask them if they want to do other ones. All of this is going to get you there. All of that gets you to that point where they're going, wow, this is great. And I'm going to kick those out. Okay. So what happens next? They leave. Everybody's driving to somebody's house to show it off. Okay. When they get to work, same thing. And what are they listening for? They're listening for that person who gets in and goes, did you get a great deal? And they're going to hand them the card. What do we have to do the next day after we sold something? We got to call them and thank them for that sale. Now, after they drive away, I text them, thank you so much for trusting me with this process and making sure you got the car you love. If you have any questions or anything, this is my number. I'm already in your phone. Okay, reach back out to me. In my phone, I store their first name and last name as their first name, and underneath it, I put the car they bought. So that's the second line for last name. Okay. And that way they're going, wow, this is great. When they call me, I'm like, hey, Bill, with your, 2019 Saturn. Okay. Maybe it was a Tesla. Okay. But again, do you see what I'm saying? I know what they're calling about. So I can be the most help to them. And it sounds like I've never forgotten you. And we all need help with a little bit of memory. Okay. Now I make that phone call for them that next day. When I make that phone call, I call and say, just making sure everything's great, but real important question, how many cards do you have left? Okay. And they're going to tell you, oh, I still have 1 card left, but I gave away 4 of them because they said that. And I go, fantastic. The reason I wanted you to give those people the card is they asked you, did you get a good deal? Which meant they could see themselves buying a car like yours. They just need to find someone that they can trust the same way you trusted me. Can you do me another favor? Okay. While you're enjoying the car and everything, pull over where it's safe. But can you text me and the person you gave the card to and do an introduction? Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to text you right now the quick little intro. It's just going to say, hey, this is Joe over at dealership Ingram Motors. Okay. He's the one that got me the great deal on the vehicle. I wanted to make sure you guys stay connected in case you wanted a vehicle. And then you're just going to put their name in at the top so that they know and I know who it was. Okay. Painless, right? They're like, yes. So now I'm getting referrals. I'm getting referrals under the right context. Okay. I'm getting great surveys and I'm going to do my follow-up and make sure that they get their stuff right. Send off the thank you card that's handwritten and do that. Okay. So remember, it's like, listen, believe, and buy. Okay. So if we're going to like, listen, believe, and buy, I just want you guys to stop and think, how can I incorporate this in my everyday? I know this is automotive specific because why? It's the best industry out there. Okay. And I love helping people to sell cars. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Okay. And I do want to tell you guys, if you have any questions, look, here's the stuff. There's my website. There's my phone number. Text me. Okay. I got one heck of a robocaller blocker on there. So it's all there for you. But you can go to Ingram Interactive. You can click down there. If you say, hey, I want training. My dealership needs training. Heck, my mortgage company needs training. Again, any industry. I just want you guys to know that's how you're going to go walk people through from where you get them to when they are leaving and they're happy. You want to look for some free stuff, go to this one here, thegeniuslinks.com. You're watching this and you're listening to this because I prefer to provide value. I prefer to make sure we're a match before we do anything further. So that's what I have for you. That's what you're going to do for every one of my automotive people out there. You learned something. There's something there. Okay. So as always, go out and sell something.